Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of What's Going On Here. Yes, we're on screen again. It's the COVID edition. We are high-tech and very slick, and my name is Tomo Lovrick. As always, I'm here to lead the ship down the path of glory and insanity. And I'm also known as T-Love in cranberry picking circles, for those of you that don't know. And with me, as always, I have the sleek, aerodynamic young man known as the ethics electrician. He is a Lord Marshal. He is a chancellor. He is a singer. He is a musician. He is a dog wrangler, a stand-up comedian, an overall happy underwear-wearing guy, Mr. Sean Quigley, a.k.a. the Quig, as he is known in Siegel research circles. Mr. Quigley, how are you?
Good. Although technically, at least as of Monday, I am an ex-Lord Marshal, Lord Chancellor. As far as I'm aware, there will be no Lord Chancellors or Lord Marshals in North America anymore. They've all gone. They've all been fired.
Okay.
Every single one of them.
I was going to say they're all like laid off, but like the company didn't shutter, did it?
No, but I don't know. We'll see.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, times are rough. Times are rough. I'll talk to you guys something about something offline later. Anyway, and then with us, as always, we have the face man of this B team, if you will. We're not quite the A team. We're the B team. We have the face man with us. He's handsome. He's versatile. He's kind of a whiz kid when it comes to marketing and peeing. That's why he's a whiz kid. And he also goes by the name of Andrew Albagees, or AA, as he's known in piano tuning circles. Andrew, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well.
Okay.
Excited to dive into another episode. I since we're throwing these on YouTube now, I if anyone who's watched the best of tournaments, which were the first recordings we did that we threw on YouTube, I've slightly restructured my seating to make a more pleasing background. I took a cue from Sean, who
Sean
both. I think it looks like you switched your background a little bit there too.
I totally switched my background. I went to the patio doors because I was on the couch last week in the living room, and it's because of the angle, because it was just kind of like on a side table. I was giving everybody like the money shot of my nostrils for 2+ hours. So I was like, maybe I shouldn't be doing that. So a little more like height wise, get the right thing in there. So, but yeah,
I've just moved backwards so that you can't see the mess that is everywhere else in my apartment, and you just see a little bit of bookshelf with some nerdy things and my beautiful artwork here.
Dude,
and therefore, it looks like a classy and fun and sophisticated location.
I was a big fan of the stormtroopers in the back. Very, very. What's his name? Andy.
Dick.
Sure. Why not?
Diggy man.
Let's go with that. Well, folks, for those of you that don't know, what we do on our show is we tap into the popular zeitgeist. We try to figure out what's going on. We pick a subject, and then we just analyze it, break it down. We mash it in a crucible of ideas and analyses, and we then explore what's going on here with said subject. Now, the other part of our show is we review drinks. That's usually the number one thing of the show. So, before I get to the drinks, what we're doing today, speaking of popular zeitgeist, because it's just everywhere, we are going to review the Tiger King documentary from Netflix. If you haven't seen this yet, you should see it, because it is batshit crazy. If you took any of that and went to a studio and said, I want to do a movie about this, and this is what happens, you would probably get laughed right out of the office, because everyone would have been like, no, that doesn't happen.
Too over the top.
It's too over the top. Exactly. It's like, you're just being schlocky now. But it did happen, so that's what we're doing. Now, because of COVID-19 and everybody's sequestered and we're all trying to do our part to like not intermingle and try to contain this thing, we are doing different drinks today. We're all mixed our own drinks. So we're going to tell everybody what we made, how we made it, or just what we made at first. And then maybe we can, if you guys send me the recipes, I'll put it in the cocktail corner so everybody can see how these drinks are being made. Tell us what you're using. And I know Sean is just dying to tell us what he's using. So with that, I will go to Mr. Quigley. Mr. Quigley, what is your drink for today? Can you share with the audience, please?
Okay, well, I haven't finished it yet. I'm going to do that on screen, finish it for you, add the pièce de la résistance. I'll show you what I have so far.
Uh-huh.
So far, I have this glass here.
Ooh.
It's very cloudy.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's glass it's like a double, maybe double and a half of gin.
Ooh, okay.
And ice. And then also a tasty amount of organic volcanic lime burst organic lime juice. I did ask my wonderful wife to pick up limes when we went for our semi-annual grocery shop, and she got me lime juice, which is not what I asked for, but will do. So there we are. It's very important when you're making this drink, use only the best quality gin.
Okay.
Which is why I'm drinking Traveller's Club. Which is bottled out of Oak Park Distillery, which is Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay, Traveller's Club. I've never even heard of Traveller's Club gin. That's
the best part of it is plastic bottle. Yeah,
that's impressive. And what are you? Does this cocktail you're making have a name, or are you going to name it on the show?
It's a very simple name, and it's what goes into it.
Gin and soda?
Gin
Uh-huh.
and tab.
Oh, don't do that. I've had that before. No. First of all, where the fuck did you find a tab? Oh my God.
If you can get a tiger, you can get a tab. That's the commercial.
Nice.
Hey, I'm gay as shit. If you can get a tiger, you can get a tab.
Tab and gin. That's like a Homer Simpson, Barney, last desperate move drink. I liked it. I really like it. Okay. Andrew, why don't you go? Tell us what your drink is. I know you got the flannel to represent.
Going a little redneck look to hopefully
Nice.
match with the theme today.
Sure.
My drink for this evening is something that is honestly my drink of choice most of the time.
Okay.
For anyone at home that's interested in trying this and thinks, I'm not good at mixing cocktails or doing all of that, well, have no fear.
Okay.
I'm drinking Wild Turkey 101, which Wild Turkey gets a lot of crap.
Yes.
But people that know their bourbon, Wild Turkey for the money is a pretty good bourbon. You'll see here, actually, because we're in the end times, I actually have a very large, this is a 1.75 liter as opposed to your traditional.
That's, you guys are playing. You guys are playing.
As opposed to your, traditional 1 liter or something. It got a little extra so I don't have to go out too often.
Sure.
And to make this cocktail as I have made it, you can use ice. You can use no ice. You can use a splash of water. Mm-hmm. You can do whatever you want. And all you do is add the wild turkey. You'll see I added, it's starting to melt a little bit because I did this just before we started recording, but a nice square ice cube. I like a nice big ice cube because it doesn't melt too much, but it keeps your drink cold. Nice. And yes, like I said, you add the wild turkey to it, and there you go.
Wow, that's excellent. That's excellent. Well, I used a friend gifted me, Alex Cologne, Christmas time, Jameson Black Barrel whiskey. So this was a Christmas gift, and I know the various mixologists are going to shit on me because technically for I made a cocktail. It's supposed to be rye whiskey, which I don't have any, and I couldn't even tell you what's a good rye whiskey because I've never had rye whiskey before. At least I don't think so. But I went because of our vicinity and where we often work and hang out and do stuff, I made a Manhattan, which is 2 ounces of whiskey, an ounce of Italian vermouth, and 2 dashes of Angostura bitters. And they say to put a cherry to garnish it, but I took 3 frozen cranberries and put them on a bamboo skewer stick. And that's my cocktail, ladies and gentlemen, right there.
All right.
So
That's a quarantini if ever I saw one.
well, I'm gonna make a boulevardier. If we end up going like 2 episodes for this, I'm gonna make a boulevardier, which is basically a Negroni with whiskey instead of gin.
Oh,
So there we go. That's
sounds good.
so. All right, well, let's do what we always do, gents, and cheers first and taste our drinks and see.
Cheers.
Waiting for Sean's expression. Cheers, gentlemen. Oh, wow.
It's a spot every time.
Wow. Gents, next time we're together, I'm making us some freaking Manhattans like this. This
With
is
Jameson?
so good. So, and the bitters and the cranberry is like, because they were frozen, so I skewered them and they've been in the drink and they're kind of like a little bit of cranberry flavors getting in there. This is something.
You should come up with a different name for that, or like a Manhattan something, Manhattan COVID edition, or like give it its own, because it's its own spin on it.
twist. Yeah, maybe a Manhattan neighborhood. A Washington Heights.
Oh, that could be good.
Or
Like
a Murray Hill. Ooh, Murray Hill. Why don't I call it a Murray Hill? There we go. That's a Murray Hill, gentlemen, right there.
Wow. Just like that, we invented a drink.
Just like that, we invented whiskey and vermouth.
And cranberries.
Yeah, and cranberries.
Your version of Manhattan is going to be very popular amongst sufferers of cystitis. I'd have to imagine. Cranberries. It's antioxidant, cures cystitis. Home remedy. For those listeners who may have burning pee.
Okay, now that we've settled the burning
pee, then all you need to do is pick up a bottle of Travelers Club.
How is it, Sean?
It takes me back to the days of when I was 14. I used to host a drinking club out of my parents' backyard. I used to have my friends around, so they didn't know what I was doing. And what we used to do is we all used to pick a bottle out of the back of our parents' liquor cabinet that they wouldn't notice was missing. And we would take maybe that much of the liquor and put it in like a plastic water bottle. And then we'd all get together and then we would combine all of those liquors into one big jug of alcohol. And that would be our drink. And it doesn't taste too dissimilar.
No, it doesn't. I have a similar story. In college, of course, you're broke. There's not a lot of money. There was a local liquor store called Mab Liquors. And I've talked about this before on the show, I'm sure, in an episode or 2. But the local liquor store, Mab Liquors, M-A-B, had its own brand of gin and vodka. And of course, you're on a college budget, so you're broke. And a 1.75 liter bottle of the gin or vodka was $5.99, $7.79, one of those two.
That shouldn't even be legal.
Right, exactly. It was literally like an $8 bottle. Like the bottle you have, Andrew, of To Wild Turkey was $8.
Oh my God.
And so we were trying to mix it so the gin was the most god-awful thing I have ever tasted. Like the vodka the gin was, my guess is the herbals that were in this gin, were probably toe clippings or something. This was just the worst thing I had ever tasted. And then one of the guys who was just very much trying to just get hammered all the time, he was like, oh, I want to drink this gin. And it was just like, it's awful. Like we left it alone. And then a week later we had a party. He's like, no, I'm going to mix it. and he mixed it with lemon lime Gatorade.
Oh, no.
And he gave it to me, and I tasted it because, 19 and stupid. And I tasted it, and I was like, this is literally the worst thing. Like, I almost threw up right on the spot because it tasted, all I could think of, I got a memory of being a little kid, and all I could think of was a Tonka truck, a little plastic Tonka truck that somebody melted and put it in this glass and had me drink it. That's what it tasted like to me. It was the most god-awful thing I had ever tried in my life.
It's so specific. A Tonka truck.
A Tonka truck. That's what it tastes. Sorry, Tonka. I'm not saying your trucks are bad. I'm just saying they don't taste so good in a drink. That's all.
Had you, in your childhood, did you have experiences tasting Tonka trucks? Well,
yeah, sure. You're a kid. You stick trucks in your mouth, That's the least of the worries about sticking in your mouth. I mean, trucks, whatever. That's easy. It's the other things you got to worry about. So, all right. So anyway, let's dive into, since we have our cocktails, let's dive into the Tiger King and the fucking crazy that is this documentary. What do we say, huh?
Wow.
Right. I mean, for those people who have not seen the Tiger King, the intro, just the credits in the first episode, there was enough in the credits that I think we could do a whole episode on. When they were just showing snippets of the whole 7-episode show. Because they showed Joe Exotic with the thing, they showed the tigers, they showed when the tiger grabbed him by the leg and yanked him. It was almost too much for me to watch. I was like, what is happening right now? And that was just the credits. And then it started, and it's a little fuzzy now. Did it start with Joe right away, or did it start with Carol Baskin? Did it start with?
I believe it starts with Joe.
It started with Joe?
I think so.
Okay. Well, to break it down, Joe Schreibvogel, which for whatever reason, for some reason in Oklahoma, no one can say the name, and he decided to name himself Joe Exotic. He is a gay man from Oklahoma who is a gun-toting guy that blows shit up all the time because he gets the gunpowder from the gun store. And he's got M16s and whatever, all the Rugers and Colts and everything around the place. Somewhere in his development, and this was the interesting part that I thought, like where they delved into him as a person. He talked about being gay in Oklahoma, so it's got to be tough, right? And he talked about his father shaking his hand in front of his mother and making him promise in front of his mother that he will not come to his father's funeral.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, you're like, okay, there's just months of therapy right there. How do you get over something like that? So I think was he in an accident of some sort? He was like car accident, and then someone took him in for a while, and he that's how he got hooked into the wildcats.
Yes. No, somebody in this show was.
Well, I think what happened was he was in some kind of accident where he got hurt really badly, and somebody was looking after him, and the person who was looking after him was rescuing little cubs that people would buy and just get rid of because, of course, why should you have a 400-pound tiger in your living room? That's just stupid,
Right.
And that's how he got into it. And
right.
And then next thing you know, he realized he could make money with it, and it was off to the races after that. Everything was just more ludicrous. That he had alligators, lions, tigers, mostly tigers, bobcats, chimps, all sorts of animals. But like I said, he said, I think at one point in the TV show, he said he had 227 tigers.